My name is Parsifal, and tonight I'm going to be talking about using marijuana while having d.i.d. So a lot of people with d.i.d. have a lot of comorbidities that medical marijuana would typically be used for, but having d.i.d. makes it different in some ways. It changes tolerance, it changes reactions, and it could get dangerous at some points. For example, certain types for us will give us muscle tremors that resemble seizures, which I will show you briefly. I have to find a strain that does that. Disclaimer, marijuana is legal where we live here in Oregon. So for people who live in states where it's legal, this is the video for you, I suppose. I'm not sure where it is and it is not legal, but we're in the Pacific Northwest, and I know it's legal at least in Washington, California, and Colorado, but past there, I don't know. So anyway, I think it depends on what type you're smoking or ingesting in whatever manner. The method of ingestion can also change the effect as well. We've seen a lot more negative symptoms affect people with d.i.d. from smoking versus edibles. Edibles are a lot easier on your body. It doesn't include any lung damage, and it can be more mild. And the type of weed itself is different as well, because the sativas versus indicas is a big factor in how you react to it, because sativas are known for being more energetic. They'll provide more energetic highs, while indicas are more mellow. And then the THC versus CBD content is also important, because CBD is used mainly for the management of pain and relief of it, and THC is what gets you high. So there are types of edibles you can get that are purely CBD or purely THC, or there's various varieties and amounts of those chemicals in there. I say chemical, but I don't mean it as in like man-made chemicals. It's a lot more natural if you're using marijuana to like medicate yourself. And honestly, I would prefer that over any types of psych medicine. However, one of the downsides to marijuana may be how it affects your brain, and how it may make it easier to unearth memories that should not be unearthed. For example, once I started smoking more often, I found that it was a lot more easy to unearth trauma memories or just things from the past. The brain it feels more fluid in our case, so it's easier to find things in there, I suppose. It's strange. So I'd proceed with caution if you wanted to attempt using marijuana for your various symptoms. And so start out with lower doses, smaller amounts, and then work your way up. It's a terrible idea to just dive right in and ingest a large amount, because that could have some very bad effects, such as what I'm about to show you. So I took the proper edible serving for a sativa strain thing. These are the type of tremors that we get. I'm trying to hold my hand up and still right now. If I wasn't sitting down, this would spread to my entire body. Walking upstairs wasn't easy. Something I would look into is asking your doctor if any of the medications you're taking would have any negative effects with marijuana. That could be helpful or hindering depending on what you're on, because I don't know if marijuana would affect medications. Something that you won't find a lot of information out there about, or word of mouth, is that smoking a cigarette will make your highs more intense, or stronger, particularly if you're still high. We've learned that the hard way several times. I just had one myself because I wanted these tremors to be more visible. So this is something to be careful about, because these will get worse over time, and I may film that, or they may fizzle out as they sometimes do. Sometimes they're not very intense, or sometimes they strengthen over time. But this is what I was talking about with the negative effects of marijuana. I mean, personally, this isn't painful. It's just a really inconvenient thing. Honestly, I feel fine right now. It's just my muscles are shaking a lot. And then there are other types of highs that are a lot more mellow and manageable and pleasant all around, such as this. This is Jake, and apparently I'm getting high for educational purposes today. So, like a couple hours ago we took the serving size for one of these, which is like a indica gummy thing. They're pretty good. The one that Parsifal took earlier was the sativa version of this, and those give us those tremors you saw. And so indica does not do this, which is pretty awesome. Though people with d.i.d. will have varying reactions to this, as will people in general. Because, like, weed is not, like, a guaranteed you're gonna react this way to it. It's a one-size-fits-most kind of description. Like, some types are usually will do this, while others will usually do that. So you might have a totally different reaction to whatever you take, you know? So yeah, indica will give us a lot more of a mellow kind of high, and it'll be really great, really chill. This is the kind where we just want to sit and watch something funny and eat a bunch of food, which is great, because we don't eat a lot usually, and that's kind of an issue. And indicas are also better for pain, because like we've got a knee injury, which is a whole friggin' story. I'll get into it some other day, but yeah, indicas are good for relieving pain, as are the CBDs. CBD oil is like the stuff they'll put into things, or you can just take it as is. It's totally for pain relief. Like, it doesn't get you high at all. That's the THC. And yeah, CBD is just good for pain. Though I don't know if that will test positive on a drug test, so you should probably look into that. I should have looked into that before trying to make an educational video, but that's for sober people to do. Yeah. So there's all different types of things you can get for like edibles, for example. A lot of what you'll see is gummies like this, but then there's also like just a whole bunch of other things we saw, like this peanut butter infused kind of stuff. There's chocolates, there's all sorts of stuff. And if you want to try any form of like cannabis for, I don't know, either getting high or pain relief or medicinal purposes, there's all sorts of different things you can try before like finding what really works for you, which is really good. There's a lot of options out there these days. We live in Oregon, where there's about as many dispensaries around here as there are McDonald's. It is awesome. So yeah, there's all different types to pick from, all different sorts of strains. Yeah, there's not really a one certain kind of weed anymore like it probably was back in, I don't know, when our parents were kids. Back in the day, there was only one kind of weed, but now there's just so much to choose from. So yeah, that's probably what I should have been talking about while filming this segment. I kind of just dove into this with no idea of what I'm doing. So yeah, back to Parsifal. And if you really aren't one for marijuana, there is this other type of herb that's smokable, and I haven't tried to bake it into anything yet, but it's called mugwort, and it's very inexpensive and highly unregulated, I found. You can go into just about any metaphysical shop, herb shop, wherever they sell dried herbs, occasionally tea. I smoked a little bit before I started filming this. It provides a mild high and extremely vivid dreams. So that's the main purpose I've found in smoking that. I just wanted something that would take the edge off of my life. And that provides it. I haven't found any excessive memories pushed towards my mind when I'm smoking mugwort, but it is easier to find trauma memories when you're intoxicated. We've all found this, and it's had some various effects. So if you wanted to start using marijuana for your symptoms, I hope this has been a little bit helpful. If there's anything else you'd like to know, feel free to ask me. That's all I had to say tonight, and thank you for watching.